yeah, we'll take one vote or two, and then you'll leave. Okay. Um, if I ever did have to beep you, what do you want me to put in there? 911, and you know it's me.
It's 10 o'clock. It's time for the council to be in session.
You want it there. Okay.
Just that.
Okay, you want to continue it, Matt?
It's 15 minutes after 10. We have Ms. Goldberg, Ms. Misikowski. We have 3 members present. We need 7 more for a quorum. Would the council members please come to the council chamber?
Steal this back first.
The council will please come in order. We are expecting two members momentarily, but we do have a presentation, so let me point out that this is a meeting of the City Council of the City of Los Angeles on the 24th day of March 1999. There are 15 council districts in the city. The regular meeting days are Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We are currently being viewed by cable subscribers throughout the Los Angeles area on Channel 35, and we're also being monitored by council phone. So with that, we'll have a presentation by Ms. Goldberg. We only need 8, I think.
I need 8.
I didn't know we voted against it last time.
No, nobody.
And then Nate even voted for it.
It is my pleasure as they
That's a big
come to
endorsement.
celebrate their 25th anniversary to present this resolution to the Affirmative Action Association for Women, a part of course, the city family. This is a grassroots organization that was established in 1974 and approved by the council as the official representative of women employees, and is dedicated to advancing the status and supporting the upward mobility of women and minorities in city government. And whereas AAW was at the forefront as the first group of united women employed in city government and led by their executive board that asserted their rights for fairness and equality in employment, with the goal of acquiring a diverse workforce that is reflective of the population they serve. And whereas they have continued to advocate for the enforcement of the city's affirmative action program through participation on the city's affirmative action advisory committee and the mayor's affirmative action task force to ensure the elimination of artificial barriers, the representation of women at all levels in government, and participation of women in positions that influence policies and procedures. And whereas most recently, the AAAW has given particular attention to training and development of its membership in preparation for career advancement, and also has served with great time and energy and resources in support of public policies that affect women, relentlessly working toward and continuing their commitment to affirmative action programs and equal employment opportunities as a basic principle of the city's merit system, and to improve the quality of life for employees and citizens of the city of Los Angeles. Therefore, be it resolved that by the adoption of this resolution of the City Council, that we commend and congratulate the City of Los Angeles Affirmative Action Association for Women on their 25th anniversary, and further express our appreciation of your passionate commitment to serving the needs of women and minorities throughout Los Angeles. And it is signed by myself and the President of the Council and Council members Chick and Galanter, and I'm sure if we had had the time, it would have been signed by virtually everybody, because it is an organization that we all know serves the best interests of not just women, but when when women's ships rise, all ships rise. And so we want to present this to you on behalf. I am given the opportunity and the privilege to do it on behalf of all of my colleagues, to say thank you for what you do. I know you have a conference coming up, so maybe you want to mention that in accepting this. And so to whom am I officially presenting? All right, we'll give it to you then.
Great.
Thank you very much. And okay, and if you'd like to say something, feel free.
Thank you.
Hi, Anna.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize some of the people that are here this morning. We have two of our past presidents, Michelle Nagin and, and Rose Garcia, who's here with her two children sitting in the back. She's now on maternity leave. But I'd like to recognize those two past presidents because they have inspired me as the current president to continue with this most noble goal of enhancing and enriching the lives of our city employees here in the city of Los Angeles. I'd also like to recognize a couple of our executive board members. That's Laverne Kimball here and Linda Jamance, and they're members of our executive board. We have 11 members on our executive board. We continue with our mission to advance the status and support the upward mobility of women and minorities in city government. It's what I refer to as the 3 E's. The main one being equality, equal opportunity. We remain committed to equal employment opportunities. And then there's enhancement or enrichment, which is providing networking opportunities. Our quarterly newsletter, The Counterpoint, which keeps members aware of current issues. And then there is our student scholarship program, which provides funds to AAAW members or immediate family members to pursue higher education. And last but not least is our education or our training to help city workers prepare for career advancement opportunities. We conduct training relative to job advancement, test-taking strategies, oral interviewing techniques, and resume writing. AAAW has had a very busy month. We've been celebrating our month-long activities for our 25th anniversary. We've had our dinner dance, our art auction, a career planning lunchtime workshop, and a book signing featuring Joel Diamond Taylor. And we will be concluding our month-long celebration with our most popular event, which is our Stairway to Success Conference. It's an annual event that we host every year during Women's History Month, the month of March. And for further information, you can always check Channel 35, City View, for contacts, people who to contact, but we're really proud of that. And last but not least, I'd like to thank Jackie Goldberg, Councilwoman Jackie Goldberg, for all her support. She's a longstanding member. We really appreciate all the support she gives us, as well as the other city council members over the years that have shown their support for us. We truly appreciate it. And also, I'd like to say that the struggle continues. Here today we have members of the cruise and tourist services, the peer hostesses over here, that continue to struggle with women's issues here in the city of Los Angeles. And I am in full support AAAW is in full support of their issues, which you will be hearing about today in council. So thank you very much. We really appreciate the recognition.
Alatorre, Bernson, Chick, Fuhr, Galanter, Goldberg, Hernandez, Holden, Miskowski, Ridley Thomas, Fornich, Wax, Walters, Farrell, 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay, as I pointed out, this is a meeting of the City Council for the City of Los Angeles. First order of business,
Approval of the minute.
if there's no objections, unanimous vote. Next item,
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
if there's no objections, unanimous vote. Let's take those items that we're going to continue.
Items to be continued. Item number 5, continued till April 23rd.
If there's no objection, that will be the order.
Item number 10 and 11 to be continued until April 30th.
If there's no objections, that will be the order.
Item number 49, a request to be continued until Friday, March 26th.
If there's no objections, unanimous vote. Item
Item
number,
52, a request to be continued until March 31st, 1999.
if there's no objections, unanimous vote.
And item number 50, a request to refer to the Information Technology and General Services Committee.
If there's no objections, we'll do that. That will be the order. Next item,
On the regular agenda, items number 1 through 9. Items noticed for public hearing. Item number 8 requires a motion to either approve or deny the application.
we have somebody here on 9, so we'll call that, wants to be heard. We have 1, 2, 2 is to be received and filed, 3, 4 is to be received and filed, 5 has been continued, 6 and 7, and we need a motion on 8 to...
Mr. Ferraro, 8 is in the Council District 11. I move that we find make the finding for public convenience and necessity and approve the Caldera findings.
Okay, that will be part of it. Is there any specials from anybody else?
No. No, we have item on, sir, Mr. President, on item number 6, that's included also, right?
Yes.
Well, I want to move that.
Okay, then prepare the roll on 1, 3, 6, 7, and the motion by Ms. Sikowski on 8. Tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
That is approved.
Mr. President,
Item 6, forthwith. please.
Forthwith on that. Mr. Wax?
I was working on another item. I'd like to move reconsideration of item 50.
Mr. Wax, we wrote a letter to the general manager of the what's the committee? I mean, what's the department?
General
Mr.
Services.
Bacon, and he's going to respond to me, and in the meantime, we've asked about the problems with the elevators.
I know, but I'd like to at least have a consideration of it. I mean, we put it on the agenda, and I'd like to at least be able to talk about it.
Mr. Wax, you can make a motion for
I move
reconsideration.
reconsideration so that we can at least discuss it, and if you want to then send it to committee, fine.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to,
To consider? No,
to reconsider.
no.
Okay,
Go to
prepare the roll.
committee, support the president.
Tabulate the vote.
7 ayes, 3 noes.
That was not reconsidered, so the matter is referred to committee. The next item,
Items number 12 through 22, items for which public hearings have been held.
item 12 through 22, public hearing. We do have people want to be heard on 12. We've had public hearings, I think, twice now on that. We'll call that special anyway because it's an ordinance and we need 12 votes on that. 13 we need 12 votes on. Any others? Anybody want any specials by council members? Any specials by council members? If not, prepare the roll on 14 through 22. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Those are approved. Next item.
Items number 23 through 51, with the exception of 49 and 50, which have already been acted on. These are items for which public hearings have not been held.
Okay, 23, does somebody want to receive and file 23, the ordinance included?
That, Ms. Galander?
Ms. Calander?
What we do with 23 depends in part on what we're doing with 24.
Well, we'll call both those special. We have people who want to be heard on both of those. We also have people who want to be heard on 51. That's all. Anybody want to be heard on any of their items? If not, the public hearing's closed on those. Any specials by council members? All right, we have 23, 24, we call special, and 51. So prepare the roll on the balance of those we have not already continued. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Those are approved. All right, Ms. Goldberg, item 51, you want
Yes,
to...
Mr. President, members of the council, because we have such a large number of people here for this item, I'd like to ask that we take it out of order and have a 5-minute public hearing. And I request a 5-minute public hearing.
Is there any particular member that wants to be the spokesperson, Ms. Goldberg? We have Pauline Becker and we have Kathleen.
Why don't they all come up and they can decide amongst them who wants to start? What the President of the Council just asks is he has several cards. You can decide which order you want to speak. You just start by saying your name and then saying what you have to say.
And we'll remind you it's 5 minutes.
Okay.
I won't take that long. Okay, I'm Pauline Becker, former employee of CTS. There were 3 of us that were wrongfully terminated on June the 15th for merely attending an informational union meeting. We were into our 3rd meeting. Someone gave out our names. The employer said that we broke the law by attending a union meeting without first seeking his permission. We sought representation because we wanted to have job security, better working conditions, more pay, and the right to wear pants on the docks. Thank you.
And the next person?
I'm Kathleen Calkins. I am an employee of CTS Tours. These are my fellow coworkers. I I just believe that the day we were hired by CTS, Royal Caribbean was over here, CTS was over here, and we were told nothing would change, only the name on our paycheck. I like my job, I want to keep my job. I think my friends were wrongfully terminated. I was at these meetings as well, but they didn't know that. I just think I'm here for the right to organize. I believe it's the only way we can save our jobs. And thank you.
Some of our friends choose
Start with your name, please.
Myrna Mendoza.
Thank you.
Some of our CTS friends choose not to believe us for reasons they feel that they have loyalty to their employer, threatened. But the truth is merely that we went to informational union meetings. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mary Ann Laurel. I also feel the same as my fellow employees. We were first worked for Royal Caribbean, and then we were outsourced to CTS. And as Kathleen said, we were told nothing would change. But things did change, and so did our hours. And his company takes over more of our working hours than we do. And on occasion, especially after we started wearing the union buttons, some of us have had our hours cut. We want job security, better wages, and also the right to wear pants at work and get our co-workers who were fired back to work. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Nobody else?
Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much. The public hearing will be closed. Ms. Goldberg?
Yes, Mr. President, members of the council, I had an opportunity to meet with the women that you see before you, who basically were quite content and happy in their employment. Their employer contracted them out under the understanding that really none of their conditions would change. Prior to being contracted out, they had a choice. They work in the terminal. They had a choice of wearing slacks or skirts depending on what work they were doing that day. Now they may only wear skirts. And that includes when they have to crawl under the desks to connect the computers, and when they straddle luggage to make sure luggage tags are properly done. They had a choice to wear a sweater or not wear a sweater that came with their uniforms when the building was cold in the early morning hours or the late evening hours when sometimes cruise ships return. Now they may not wear the sweater. They sound like small, insignificant things, but they represent an attitude that says that somehow or another they don't have the same rights as other employees. This has led to their desire to bargain, to collectively organize and bargain. And all the resolution that I ask you to join me unanimously in adopting says is that we express our grave concern over violations of the right of these hostesses at the LA Cruise Terminal to organize a union, and that we declare our support for the right of all workers at the Port of Los Angeles to organize free of threats and intimidation. And I would urge an aye vote by all of my colleagues. Thank you very much.
Mr. Holden, did you want to be heard on this?
Mr. President, I see here in the resolution that the National Labor Relations Board, the National Labor Board has issued a complaint against the cruise and tour services?
Yes.
And they still not correcting the problem?
Well, they've issued a complaint, and I understand that by April 18th, the 3 who were fired for attending an informational meeting will have to be rehired.
Okay.
But it does not resolve the issues of the dress code.
I understand. You're right. Then you have the International Longshore and Warehouse Union. They wanted to join that.
That's correct.
Is any of those union representatives here today?
I think we have, yes, we have one.
One? Yeah. Mr. President, I think it's important that we hear from the parent union as to what they were doing at the time and why, even notwithstanding the fact that we had 5 minutes. On my time, and I have about 2 minutes left, give them a minute. Go right ahead. 1 minute on my time.
Thank you so much. My name is Michael Diller. I'm the international organizer for the International Longshore and Warehouse Union. As the council, I'm sure, well understands and recognizes that the ILW has a significant posture within the Port of Los Angeles. These ladies came to us back in May of 1998. when they were terminated by Royal Caribbean International and subsequently rehired by Cruise and Tour Services because certain changes and discriminatory actions were placed upon them. We've conducted an organizing drive since May of 1998. We've filed numerous complaints with the National Labor Relations Board, including the employers not allowing the gals to wear union buttons, but allowing them to wear other buttons that are given to them by the employer. We've filed complaints with the National Labor Relations Board because of the terminations. We've gone through a series of hearings. We fully expect that the gals will be reinstated on April the 18th.
Good. Your
Right.
time's up.
Thank you.
Let me just say that on the airline industry, we have hosts and hostesses, or flight attendant, men and women. What happens here? I mean, they don't have any men? I didn't see any men.
There's one male.
Okay, fine. But notwithstanding that, there's still, he wear pants, right?
Yes, he does.
And then why can't the women wear pants if they choose to do so?
Because I think the employer chooses not to allow them to wear pants at this time.
So they operate out of the Port of Los Angeles, Mr. President, on my 30 seconds left, and we cannot tolerate, as a body, any form of discrimination against anyone. And I think when it raises its ugly head again and is doing that more repeatedly today in our society, we have to take a stand against it. And so I'm very pleased that Ms. Goldberg and Galanter brought this motion in, and I support it 100%. And we got to send a message out there to them.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Holmes. All right, we have item 51 before us. Prepare the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That is approved. Forthwith on that.
Thank you very much.
Next item.
Item number 9, called special.
Yeah, members of the council, this is a public hearing item, and we have a lot of cards. Mr. Fuhr.
Why don't we have since this has been heard extensively, let's have a 10-minute hearing on each side, please.
Okay. You want those in favor or those opposed?
Let's have those opposed first.
Okay. All right, Julianne Brankoff and then Dan Horowitz. If you want to be heard on this, would you just come up to the line up behind each other? And we'll start in. Give your name.
Yes, good morning. My name is Juliana Bancroft, and I am a resident within the 500 feet radius of the proposed project Hillel at 574 Hillgard Avenue. I am acting as one of the representatives of Save Hillgard, which is an organization of homeowners within the impacted area of the proposed Hillel project. We are not now, nor have we ever been, opposed to the Hillel's presence in our neighborhood. Hillel, after all, has existed to the south of this existing site for many, many years. However, it is in a different zone. We believe it will continue to assist the campus community and the neighborhood as a whole. As presently proposed, however, the project will substantially damage the neighborhood due to the following items that have already been granted. It has a 400-seat auditorium, but has provision for only 14 on-site parking spaces instead of the required 139 spaces. It intends to service UCLA, USC, and Loyola as a regional center, and will further burden already congested Hillgard Avenue with more traffic. It plans to have a major event every week. It plans to have outdoor performances involving live music. It plans to have meeting facilities. The total height of 52 feet in spite of specific plan limits of 33 feet. Let's face it, it is a major facility, stuffed lot line to lot line in a very small site. California law and the city statute require careful environmental evaluation of all projects and a meaningful effort on the part of the project sponsor and the city to identify and mitigate, where feasible, those impacts. The administrative process is not yet complete. This body has the chance to make changes necessary to mitigate, where feasible. these impacts on our community as mandated under CEQA. We are willing, prepared, and able to meet and work with the council, the planning department, and the project sponsor to bring this project to a successful conclusion for everyone involved. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for your time.
I'm Marcia Pine. I've heard it said many times by the Hillel representatives that they just don't want us here. We just don't want them there. Well, that's just not true. It's just ridiculous. Why wouldn't we want them there? Hillel is a wonderful organization. Many of us have been Hillel supporters for many years. I'm sure that Hillel would be a terrific neighbor, certainly better than a nursery school or a park or a fraternity or a condominium. Hillel is an ideal candidate to be our neighbor. So when they say we just don't want them there, it's just not true. But what we don't want is an oversized project without a realistic parking plan. Now, 88% of the residents within 500 feet of the proposed student center are opposed to the project as it is proposed. We're not opposed to the idea of the project, however. The Holmby Westwood Property Owners Association voted to support us because the project wasn't compatible with the Westwood specific plan, which allows for a 33 height limit. The St. Albans Church supports the idea of the project just like we do, but they have not endorsed the 52-foot height plus of the proposed project. The Christian Science Center to the north of the project takes a neutral stand on the project. They have turned down a request by Hillel to rent parking spaces to them. They realize this is a residential neighborhood, and they have always been good neighbors. Now, we're sure that Hillel will also be good neighbors, and we hope that you will help us come to a compromise so that we can continue to enjoy the use of our homes. I ask you to please put politics aside and do the right thing. Please be fair.
All right, thank you
very much.
Mildred Coleman and then M.A. Gray. The time is running. Is there anyone else who wants to be heard? Okay, thank you. Then we'll then go with those in favor, and we'll start with Ben Resnick. Ben Resnick, and then we'll have Rabbi Chaim Seidler, Feller. Go ahead, time is running.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Is this our cumulative time for the proponents, or have we done with the opposition?
They didn't take all their time, but
Okay,
we made all their cards part of the file.
Thank you. Then we'll expedite our presentation. Members of the council, my name is Ben Resnick, and I'm representing Los Angeles Hillel Council and UCLA Hillel here today. The site in question has been for 60 years a YWCA site, right across from the Faculty Center at UCLA and right across from the bus stop, which currently operates for Santa Monica and the MTA. It is an institutional part of Hillgard associated with university uses for the last 50 to 60 years. Hillel has been down the street at the University Religious Center for the past 50-plus years. And what's incredible about that history is that for over 50 years, Hillel has been there having services, having dances, having events, and to date, there's not on file one complaint available to be found. Hillel has been an incredible neighbor to the West, an incredible cooperative neighbor to the Westwood community. We are seeking a minor variance on height. The height of the building predominantly is 45 feet, which is what the Westwood multifamily specific plan allows us to do, except in the rear, adjoining R1, there is an area that you can have to limit it to 33 feet if you are a multifamily structure. The zoning administrator in the initial decision correctly pointed out that the multifamily specific plan is not applicable to us because we're not building multifamily. So the variance is needed because Hillgard slopes down and there's a very small portion of the building that's going to exceed the 45-foot height limit. The predominant part of the building is at 45 feet. The same group that is opposing us also previously opposed the child care facility proposed for this site, and as such, Hillel has met. We have met with the group and trying to work out conditions and cooperations, but we have not, unfortunately, been successful. I will, at this time, yield my time so that other members of the community can speak. Everybody line up.
Rabbi?
I'm Chaim Seidler-Feller. I've been the rabbi at Hillel at UCLA for the last 23 years. Hillel, as you know, is a pluralistic student service agency. 3 points. 1, the new building will be closer to the university than our current building. As a result, there will be less pressure for student parking because students who heretofore had to drive down 2 long streets and always did to come to our building will be able to basically roll across the street from the university to be at our building, and therefore there was no need to provide daytime parking for our students. The university has agreed to, or the university has given us a letter that indicates that when there are evening programs, the overflow parking will be able to be accommodated in lots 2, sometimes in lot 3, and even in lot A, which are available for parking from the neighbors. And we will not engage in a program if that parking is not available. That's something that we've agreed to, number 1. Number 2, we hope to introduce into this building a kosher dining facility for students. This means that students who otherwise would leave Los Angeles and have left Los Angeles in the past will choose to stay in Los Angeles. I propose that there's a small drain of students who are excellent students who have chosen campuses in the East who will now remain in Los Angeles and serve our community. Such facilities have been built recently at University of Michigan, at Tufts, at Ohio State University, at Harvard, Yale, Princeton. We are merely joining into this chorus of buildings that have been built in the last 10 years. Number 3, our center, among its programs, focuses on outreach and intergroup relations. We have ongoing programs for Jewish relationships with African American students, with Hispanic students, with Asian Americans, and a new program for Arab Americans and Jewish Americans. So in short, our facility will do a major service to the community and to the university. Thank you very much for your support.
My name is Robert Sackett. I live at 10547 Strathmore Drive, and I've been a resident there for the past 40 years. The boundary of my property is within 150 feet of the corner of this new proposed building. So I'm very much aware of the surrounding neighborhood and its environment. I just want to share a few things with the council that I'm concerned about, and that is the inference of the opposition that Hillel will present a neighborhood problem of people and noise and things that go with a large facility. And I want to point out to the council that the noise factor in that area is infinitesimal of what Hillel would put out with all the people coming there, regardless of how many, compared to the noise in the neighborhood. We have a bus terminal. It's not just the bus station, a bus terminal right across the street from Hillel that has anywhere from 5 to 8 buses parked there most of the day, idling with these diesel engines from early in the morning till many hours in the night, that produce a mammoth amount of noise every day, every hour. There are other facilities in the area that produce noise on the basis of people that we've had no objection to or felt any inconvenience for 40 years. I can only urge that my personal experience with Hillel, with my youngsters that grew up, has been always of the highest character and the highest caliber. And I can only urge this council to approve this endeavor for our young people, for today, and for tomorrow, and for the future.
We got 3.5 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Ken Cahan. I'm president of California Landmark, and we are a multifamily developer who specializes in infill projects in West LA. I'm acting as co-chair of the construction committee of this project, and I want to point out one significant thing. If someone were to build a multifamily structure on that project, if it were me, I would build it so that it orients to the R1. This project, the way we've designed it, has no windows in the rear of the site. I also want to emphasize that the rear of the site is only 28 feet in width. So it is very, very small because of the pie-shaped design of the site. In sum, if someone were to build a multifamily structure here, apartments, living quarters, et cetera, would be facing the R1 areas in the rear, and it would be noisier for the residents. Thank you.
I'm Bea Mandel. I have lived in the neighborhood since 1970. I'm very excited about the possibility of having this project as a neighbor. I served for about 10 years on the Westwood Homey Homeowners Association board and withdrew from that board after seeing 10 years of projects, none of which was approved. I hope that the council will in fact vote in favor of this, and I thank you for your time.
My name is Fred Cowan. I'm a director of the Hillel Foundation. Before being asked to be on the building committee to evaluate this project, I gave it considerable thought. In my background as a retired real estate developer, I had some practical experience in this type of project. And just as importantly, for 3 years, I was the president of the West Side Community Planning Committee, which was 8 homeowner groups in and around Westwood. And I have to say to you, without being repetitious and with reference to what has already been said, as far as I'm concerned, before I accepted the assignment, the project I felt was totally compatible, totally appropriate. And one other thing I think that you people should know is that 80% of our time in evaluating and planning this project was devoted to the sensitivity to the neighborhood and to the appropriateness of the project. I believe it's completely appropriate and should be approved, and thank you for your time.
My name is Betty Kabacher. I live in about 2 blocks from the project. I've lived there since 1965. My family and I have taken advantage of the Hillel facilities and the programs. I'm very much looking forward to having the addition of the Hillel building enhance our cultural activities. My neighbors who could not be here today have asked me to speak for them, that they support this project. Thank you.
My name is Daniel Inlander. I'm currently a student at UCLA and a Hillel participant. The Center for Jewish Life will be afforded the unique opportunity to effectively cater to an eclectic group of students. A library, computer laboratory, private study rooms, a fully enclosed student recreation room, and a kosher dining facility will be made available to students on campus. Jewish students on the UCLA campus eagerly await their new home. We are excited that we will be able to interact with other organizations on campus like never before. But above and beyond that, we are excited about having a place of our own. A place that will provide us with the means to responsibly engage with UCLA and her neighboring community. A place where students like myself can explore our past in a wholehearted attempt to make positive changes for years and decades to come. The thought of bringing focused dialogues and a new programmatic agenda to the new building is causing a great thrill to all. Just imagine the wondrous opportunities that will be afforded to focused, studious, and responsible students on the UCLA campus. UCLA Hillel is a place to learn and grow, not a fraternity or sorority house. On occasions that can be counted on one hand, Hillel sponsors Judaic celebrations. These are not parties in any sense of the term, but are rather an opportunity for Jews to collectively celebrate ancient traditions that have lasted for thousands of years. After all, the Yitzhak Rabin Center for Jewish Life will be our home. Why would we want to irresponsibly use it as a party house? Thank you for allowing us to embark on what promises to be an exciting and meaningful
Thank you, and
endeavor.
the time is up, and we do have a few cards. We'll make those part of the file. And the council debate now is Mr. Fuhr first.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
First, be forthwith on 29 first, please. And
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in strong support of the unanimous approval given for this project by our Planning and Land Use Management Committee. The Yitzhak Rabin Center is going to be situated on Hillgard, right across the street from UCLA, in Sorority Row. There are religious institutions there. It's an ideal location for this facility. And as has been said, it's actually closer to UCLA than the existing facility. What are the uses we're talking about at this site? A library, a kosher dining room for students who can't be on meal plans at UCLA currently because there's no kosher dining room for them. A student lounge, a computer lab, a study hall, a chapel, an auditorium, and a caretaker's unit. That's what we're talking about at this site. The project, as its proponents have indicated, has changed significantly in response to legitimate concerns expressed in the community. There are no operable windows on one side of the building. There are no rooftop uses. The rooftop mechanical equipment is screened and sound insulated, and indeed they changed the whole interior program of the building to assure that anything that might even be a little bit noisy would be moved away from where residences are. Parking was raised. It is true that UCLA currently accommodates Hillel activities at a building that's a little closer into the neighborhood and farther from the campus, as is currently the case. UCLA currently provides that parking, will continue to do so. And you've heard Rabbi Seidlerfeller say that if UCLA can't for some reason accommodate those kinds of uses, then they won't have such events. In fact, over the course of the year, there'll be only 24 events of 400 people there, like high holiday services, activities like that. By the way, on parking, this is a neighborhood in which there is permit parking throughout the entire neighborhood. So from every standpoint, this is a thoughtfully designed project in the right location. There was a question raised about height. Yes, it is true for one side of the building, because of the slope of the street, there is a 7-foot variance from height, which is allowed to be 45 feet in this location. 7 feet because the street slopes. You see, it's a flat building. In sum, the Yitzhak Rabin Center accommodates a range of legitimate, indeed very significant student activities. It is a student-oriented structure across the street from a major university on a street that already accommodates sorority row and religious institutions. It's the right project. It's the right place. There have been a number of accommodations to the neighbors. I urge unanimous support.
Ms. Misakowski?
Mr. President, I would like to give the committee report. The committee did hear this after extensive public testimony, and a lot of what Mr. Fuhrer says I won't repeat, other than to say that obviously Hillgard has a history of providing off-campus support institutions. There are 4 religious-oriented buildings on Hillgard. There are 5 student-oriented religious facilities. There are 8 sororities and/or fraternities. There are even some hotels further down. Hillel is now located within 3 blocks of this particular site, and so it's not really a major new use at this area. When the committee heard it, we did modify the conditions of approval to make it somewhat more restrictive. The maximum occupancy will now be limited to 300 persons, with the exception of allowing 400 persons on site up to only 24 days a year, subject to the on-campus visitor parking being available. There are a number of trees that are on the northerly property line and the easterly property line. And as excavation might occur for the subterranean garage, we wanted to make sure that those trees would be replaced, even if they are on the adjoining property, and that's a condition of the approval. The hours were restricted to 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday. And we also required that the Hillel will go and get the off-street loading for the frontage on Hillgard in front of them for cargo and other passenger unloading. With these conditions, with the approval from UCLA indicating that they would continue to work closely with Hillel on the parking, this is right across the street from the major bus center for the whole UCLA campus, as well as nearby Lot 2, which is an unrestricted parking available on the campus. This site fits well, works well, has been there for a 60-year history in the general vicinity, and makes eminent sense for the approval as recommended unanimously by your Planning and Land Use Management Committee.
Mrs. Chick?
Yes, I want to rise in support of my colleagues and also with understanding at the difficulties that all of us have when we look at projects that are community projects that bring impacts, that bring activity, but always with the idea in mind that there are certain pieces that make up the fabric of our community that are essential. And I want to compliment the community and Hillel and my colleague Mr. Fuhr and the Plum Committee for addressing those concerns full front and coming up with a plan that I think is going to work and that allows a very important asset to the whole community to continue and to grow. I also want to add and remind my colleagues that we do have a very, very good contact over at UCLA, my former staff member, Diana Brueggerman, who I contacted with some questions about this project, and she reassured me that because UCLA so values Hillel and the many, many services and pluses that it brings to the campus, to the students and the whole neighborhood, that they absolutely are there to work with Hillel and make sure that adequate parking is made available. So I join Mr. Fuhr in supporting the project.
Mr. Alatorre?
Mr. President and members, I too would rise in support of this project. Now, I mean, I think that most of us have been in and around UCLA, and Hillgard is not exactly a street that is quiet. I mean, aside from the traffic and aside from the other facilities that are there that are campus related, I don't know what problem this center is going to create. If anything, I think it's going to meet the needs of students from the campus and others that surround it. So I think that it is a very well thought out program. I think it's sensitive to the community in and around that area. I mean, I would be more supportive if I lived around there, more supportive of this than some of the other things that are already at the campus that create more havoc and chaos to the daily lives of people. But I think that this center is long overdue. I think that it is a project that all of us should in fact support. I would ask for an aye vote.
Mr. Bernson?
I think most of it has already been given, and I think Cindy did a good job giving the committee report. I got here a little late because of LAFCO. I might add that the committee looked at this very carefully. We looked at the fact that that this was something that was consistent with university life, that it was adjacent to the university. In fact, the need for parking would be lessened by the change in locations moving closer to the parking. I might add that I have a Hillel Foundation location in my district with CSUN, never in 20 years, never had a complaint. And it's true what Richard said, if it's not a party place, he doesn't support it. It's not a party place. It's a place of gathering, and it is the committee unanimously felt that this would be a good location. This street is the home of numerous other college activities that are part of university life, and the people that live near this have to understand that. And at any rate, I would urge an aye vote. I think Mr. Fuhr and his staff spent a lot of time with the community, and I commend him for the efforts he put in there, and I think that his recommendation is a good one, and the committee unanimously approved it. I would urge an aye vote.
Mr. Wax?
It's not a party place.
Yes, Mr. President, this is obviously something I've had a long history with, having been to UCLA, graduated there, and been active in Hillel. I listened to both sides quite carefully, and I think that the people who are in opposition are very sincere in their point of not being against Hillel. And I think that I, for one, just because you're opposed to this, wouldn't for a moment think that you were against Hillel. And I think that you're also right that there will be some impact on the immediately surrounding community, particularly from the increased height of the building and in some of the activities. But I have to say this, that there's another side to the issue. Hillel is not only, as Ms. Chick says, an important part of the fabric of the university. living near a university isn't something that you just have to put up with some of the problems with it. Living near a university, being in walking distance to a great university like UCLA is one of the greatest assets you could ever have. I wish I'd give my eye tooth that I could just walk across the street and go to the extraordinary, take advantage of the extraordinary range of things that a university like UCLA offers to its surrounding community. So it's a more than fair trade-off. If you live near a university like UCLA and live close enough to be impacted in the way you are also getting the extraordinary benefits of that, which most people in a city don't have. And I think that you make that judgment when you live there. There's a reason why the housing where you live is so desirable and so valuable. And partly it has been made such by its close proximity to a university like UCLA, so that while I agree that there will be some impact, and while I agree that the motives are well intended and all, I think that the trade-off is a more than fair one, and one that most of us would very willingly make ourselves.
Ms. Goldberg?
I'd like to move the previous question.
All right, prepare the roll on the previous question, which would cut off debate. Tabulate the vote.
11 noes, 11 yeses, 1 no.
Okay, that is approved. The debate has been closed. We have the committee report before us. Prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. We'll send it forthwith. We did send 29 forthwith. So. Okay, the next item is number 12.
Mr. We have, we've already closed public comment, but I think it would be appropriate if we had, say, 2 people on each side, if they could make a presentation, and then I'd like to reserve my opening after the public hearing.
You want a 5-minute public hearing?
5-minute public hearing.
Well, I know we've had numerous public hearings. Okay, Ernestina Montaltano, and then Arthur Montoya.
Good morning. My name is Ernestina Montellano. First of all, the CRA is in the hole for $640 million. That is why we are here. People in our community of Boyle Heights and El Sereno are poorly represented by our mayor and Councilman Alatorre and other politicians. That's why the community redevelopment was let in. People, don't be so vulnerable. Stand up for your rights. It is never too late. Our community has been left to get run down and filthy, so the CRA could come in and claim it as blight. Not fit for a home or business. The CRA supposedly will bring in $159 million into our communities. I doubt it. Salaries for the CRA will come out of that money, and the big developers will get their share, and also some of the politicians. They will not do very much for us. Maybe push some of us out of the places that we have worked so hard to have. Whatever happened to the land of the free and the beautiful dreams? The politicians and community redevelopers are keeping in with their greedy promises and lies. And eminent domain will be used in commercial areas, probably with no mercy. Who cares about us? We do. It's your tax money they are using. On March the 3rd, 1999, some of the people that came to speak for the Adelante Eastside Plan have never been or attended a PAC meeting. And others in the PAC work here, but don't live here. There is a lot of difference. Thank you.
Montoya.
Yes, my name's Arthur Montoya. I don't believe that this is the time to adopt a plan because the people have not been well informed, and you have no participation from the community in that respect. Your PAC, your committee that you have told to have meetings every month, have not been very informative. And they never have allowed any people who oppose this plan to speak for more than 2 minutes at their meetings. What can you do in 2 minutes? When you are arrested and you come before a court, the judge doesn't tell you, I'll give you 5-10 minutes to defend yourself. You let the person say what he's got to say and take it into consideration. You have a 22-member committee who speaks for over 100,000 people who live in the area. Now, that's kind of ridiculous. That is why you have not had very much people in your meetings. Every time somebody in those meetings say something about you bringing in the right of eminent domain, right away, the headman will step by and say that that is not true.
No, 2 more.
That is true because you say it so in your own plan. You have this plan which you are talking to the people about. This is not the real master plan. The real master plan specifies exactly what you're doing in the community. But even at that, you say you're not going to bring the right of eminent domain to the area. You also say that you're not going to change any zoning. Of course, you say that in the plan, but you add a kicker to the end that says, and from time to time when this plan will be amended. Now, maybe people don't know what amended means. That means that tomorrow, if you adopt it today, you can amend what you say here, and that this goes out the drain, and you put it wherever you want. You're asking the people to give you a blank check, and I don't think anybody's foolish enough to do that. You wouldn't give me a blank check because you probably figured I would rob you blind. Well,
Okay.
we don't want you to have.
All right, Mr. Montoya, the time is up.
And then that's one of the things that I want to tell you about.
Yeah, Mr. Montoya, the time is up.
One moment,
Okay.
please. Whenever something like this comes up, we are awarded so much time. I sit here today and hear people come in here. You have 3 more minutes, and it extends to 10 minutes, but that's okay. We'll see what will happen because this is not the end of it. You will have to comply with the demands of the Housing and Urban Development
All right.
in Washington, D.C., so we'll see what comes from there.
Thank you. We've had plenty of hearings, you know. All right, those people that did not be heard on against the proposal, we'll make those cards part of the file. Now we have Louis Santina.
Good morning. My name is Luis Santina, and I stand before you as a community activist on the east side, a resident, and a civil servant who actually works in the east side, who has dealt with similar cases and fully understands the pain that similar cases of eminent domain could bring. Nobody on the east side wants that. The east side has dealt with many similar projects in the past, and now it's time to regain faith in government for the east side. I ask for your full support, not only for the project, but also for the oversight amendment that will ensure the complete participation of the residents and give them back the respect they deserve. This amendment will ensure that no residence that's categorized 100% will be classified for eminent domain. 2, it will ensure a 30-year plan PAC for people to continue participating. And lastly, it will ensure that this great council take note as to any eminent domain cases and ensure parity and respect and dignity for the people of the east side. We need this project. We need this project now to ensure economic prosperity, and we're very proud to say that we are in support of the amendment. I'm an ASFE member, and today accompanying me is Cheryl Parisi, who is also an ASFE member, who are the people who work with the CRA, who will ensure and have pledged to be the watchdogs in overseeing that the community of the east side is given the respect they deserve. I'd like to ask Cheryl to come up here and share some words, but in closing, I'd like to ask you, Adelante with respect. Adelante con respeto. Thank you.
Cheryl Parisi.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Parisi, representing the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. Our union represents the rank and file, professional, and supervisory employees at the Community Redevelopment Agency, the workers who will carry out this project hand in hand with the community. And we stand today in support of the project, and particularly in support of the amendment, which will allow the workers and the community to be heard by the council in its proper oversight role to ensure that redevelopment comes to the 14th Council District in a way that is sensitive to the needs of the residents and the community as a whole. And the workers of the Community Redevelopment Agency are pledged to make that happen. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Alatorre, we'll make the rest of the cards part of the file.
All right.
All right,
Mr. President, members, I rise in support of the creation of a redevelopment area in the eastern part of Los Angeles and Boyle Heights and El Sereno. You know, for the gentleman, both of the individual that spoke against it, you know, one of the things that we made it very clear from the very beginning, and we took off the table so that we would not have the debate and the rancor that is created by the idea of eminent domain in residential communities. We took that off the agenda from the very beginning. Now, this is not a plan that just came about a month ago, 6 months ago, and the like. This has been years in the making. There have been an abundance, tens of, I think there's been probably 50, 60, 70, 80 meetings that have taken place on this, to listen to the concerns of people, to make sure that their concerns were reflected in this particular plan. What we're talking about is using redevelopment as a means of creating an economic engine for the area in Boyle Heights and in El Sereno. You know, there are the last vestiges of light industrial base in both of those communities. And what we're interested is trying to maintain that base, trying to maintain the businesses that are there and trying to bring new business there. Because the one thing that the study showed, Adelante East LA showed, was that the greatest number of employees that work at these different plants that we have in the light industrial base happen to reside within the surrounding area. So consequently, small businesses are extremely important. And it's also important, what we learned too, was that there was over $400 million, almost $500 million of monies that leave the community because there are not the places where people can spend the money. They go to other areas in an effort to spend for the goods and services that are needed. You know, we have the Olympic and Soto area, which at one time was a thriving retail place for Sears and Roebuck. Not only was it a large employer, retail-wise, but also there were warehouses and the like. We also have a lot of businesses that either have gone out of existence or need to be buttressed. And that's what I believe the tax increment monies that are created from the creation of redevelopment area can in fact do. You know, the one thing that our community has, it has a tremendous capital, human capital living there. And they are interested in an opportunity. And we have a lot, it's a young community. We have people that are in need of employment. And I believe that through the proper use of redevelopment, the proper use of tax increment monies, that we can lend a helping hand in that. We're talking about over $170 million over a period of years that will be infused into that community to create the economic incentives that are needed. And also, I strongly believe that the housing stock that we have as an example in Boyle Heights is a housing stock that is old, but yet monies could be used to revitalize that housing stock, and I firmly believe in that. I am not interested in the use of eminent domain to create apartments in strictly residential communities, single-family communities, as I'm more interested in trying to fortify the housing stock in that area. But in order to do that, we have to have the basic economics so that we can create the tax increment monies that we can use for those purposes. I commend the CRA staff. It's been a long time in coming. The members of the advisory committee that worked on it, the PAC that worked on it for a period of years. I commend them, and I would respectfully ask for an aye vote on the creation of a redevelopment area in the Boyle Heights, El Sereno community. Thank you.
Okay, we have item number 12 before us. It's an ordinance, and also we have 13. Any further discussion? If not, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved.
Forthwith on that.
We'll send that forthwith. Okay. Ms. Galaner would like item 23 and 24 to go to Commerce Committee. So if there's no objections, we will send those to the committee. Members of the council, we have with us today Norm Boyer, who has been the head of the Sacramento office for many, many years. He is retiring, and we should ask Norm to step forward so we can all look at him and throw rocks at him or whatever we want to do. But we want to thank him for his service to the city and for a great job done in Sacramento. Norm? Mr. Burnson?
Let me just say that I've had the pleasure of working with Norm for a lot of years now, and we have been very well represented in Sacramento, thanks to Norm. Not only that, those of us that have had to travel there on city business have had full cooperation, a lot of assistance, and I just want to express my thanks on behalf of myself and the city to Norm for what he's accomplished for us in Sacramento. Thank you, Norm. Best of wishes for a great retirement.
Thank you, Mr. Burnson, and thank you, Norm, and have a good retirement. I think you're way too young to be retiring, but what the hell. Next item.
We'd send Deaton up there.
Closed session items number 53 through 55. Now is the time for public testimony and not agenda items.
Okay, the public comment. Leonard Rose.
I'd like to make a speech at City Council. I would like you help the patient of physical need regardless of patient of their health problem, and every hospital doctor and nurse who work in these hospital and doctor office where patient need help in their health problem. We need DA, attorney, health department, office representative, our president to investigate these hospital and nurses what is going on the place on the sheet of list in every place on the paper what going on with patient, staff, and doctor and nurse. Number one, we need hiring more staff in doctor office plus hospital where you and me wait too long, 45 minutes to 1 hour. Patients need to go to work, school, places, and schedule time where people want to go. If DMV department could do this, I know doctor office could do this, where line of people move fast, not wait 1 hour. We're waiting too long. We need to make a test school where doctor and nurse and malpractice training school and college to get that test on medication and doctor duty. A little more harder on the test, interview test before they became a doctor and nurse's job to know what their job in all patient regardless and all not part and all their health problem and physical need. My testimony helped, and I almost died a few times on my medication problem. What happened to me? Mental health center, when they gave me overdose, saw half kill me. Even medication changed. 50 milligram instead 100 milligram. When I almost had reaction tight nervous breakdown, 50 milligram. Now I'm on 100 milligram each day. Before I quit McDonald's overtime, I work long hours 6 days a week. My doctor say I choose to work these hours, but I did. And this is a hospital investigation, confidence hospital, and what people have been.
All right, thank you. You want to give that to the sergeant?
Thank you.
Okay, Larry Ross.
My name is Larry Ross. Once again, I am before the Los Angeles City Council members to express myself on the matter. I have gone on record many times before in front of the Board of Supervisors of Los Angeles County and the City Council members of Los Angeles City that a debt has been created by you and that the procrastination and denial of it won't do away with it. The debt came into existence by means of violations of contracts, persecutions, harassments that I have been subjected to. I began my informative period before this council back in '97. I brought to your attention that back in April, I believe, of '97, that when I was coming to the city council member, as I was stepping off the sidewalk, an alleged individual in a car came zooming from around the curve on 7th Avenue onto Broadway without looking and kept on going, came close to striking me. Before I even brought that to the council members' attention, I had brought to your attention the numerous injustices I have undergone or had undergone and still am undergoing. But yet this council member has seen fit not to do anything. Serious, felonious wrongdoing has been committed against me and against my family. Interferences in my life, in my family lives have occurred. But yet, the city council members and the board of supervisors have seen fit to sit and not give acknowledgement to the fact that such information has been brought to their attention. Now, they say for every action, there is a reaction. The point I'm stressing is this. There must be a reason for your playing, I see no evil, I hear no evil, and I speak no evil. There must be a reason for it. You are creating a condition that can only lead to more abuses and constitutional violations. I have gone on record and stated before that I am a citizen of the city of Los Angeles and the nation of the United States. Therefore, I do occupy dual citizenships. My rights are covered by the state constitutions, Constitution and the federal Constitution. I believe that the city of Los Angeles is trying to amend its city charter at this late date. Whatever you do, whatever way you try to change that charter, it will not help to alleviate the wrongdoing that you have linked yourselves to. Because by denying the charges that I have brought before you, you've only shown your part in this conspiracy. You have knowledge of it, but yet you have seen fit not to do anything. That is a sign from any rational individual, a sign of participation and guilt. Because in a legitimate body, once wrongdoing has been brought to its attention, should take the necessary action to clear the matter up. No one has approached me and say, are you sure of your facts? Are you sure that you know what you're talking about? But yet, just this week, I have had 2 attacks against me. As I sat in a diner, minding my business, 4 young males threw a plastic bottle with filth inside of it and hit me with it. As I sat at the bench just the other night, two at the most, as people, 3 or 4 individual males, as they walked by, they threw and hit me with a bottle, a plastic, a Pepsi, a Dr. Pepper bottle. Those are assaults. You might say not serious, but what are these things leading up to? I am not going to relinquish in my pursuit for justice. You owe a debt to me. That debt must be paid. The debt will continue to rise until the debt is paid. I'm going to sum up by saying I had classified all of the individuals involved in this conspiracy against me under the banner of Clans County or County Clans. I've also identified individuals, at least some of the individuals, that are a part of this group. It started with Clinton. When Wilson was in office, it included him because he headed at that time the state government, which is the highest government within the state. And I brought it back down to the city council members and the board of supervisors, and even the law enforcement, because the law enforcement know of the injustice.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ross. Is there anyone else that wants to be heard on public comment? If not, public comment period is closed. Now we're going to go in, let's clear the desk.
Request to be excused from city council meetings. We have Councilmember Bernstein request to be excused on Wednesday, April 21st for city business that meets policy.
Unanimous vote.
Councilmember Savornich requests to be excused on August 10th, 11th, 13th, 17th, 18th, and 20th for city business meets policy.
Unanimous vote.
Councilmember Chick requests to be excused Friday, April 16th at noon, Tuesday, April 20th, and Friday, May 14th at noon for city business meets policy.
Unanimous vote.
Councilmember Chick requests to be excused on Wednesday, April 21st, and Friday, April 23rd. A motion is required from the floor.
All right, Mr. Wax moves. Unanimous vote.
Okay. The desk is clear.
Okay, we're going to go into executive session, so all those not involved with the executive session, please leave the council chamber.
Oh, yeah, we didn't want to keep it.
We're back in open session. We do have a couple items.
Item number 53 is to authorize the city attorney to expend $1,051,366 from Fund 593, Department 22, account J400.
All right, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That is approved. Next item. Forthwith on that. Forthwith on item 13 also. And 17.
Item number 55 is the recommendations of the Budget and Finance Committee to expend $225,000 in settlement of the case entitled Carl Anthony Galloway versus City of Los Angeles.
Okay, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
9 ayes, 2 no.
That is approved. We'll send that forthwith. Next item.
The desk is clear.
Are there any adjourning motions? Any adjourning motions? Would everyone please stand? Ms. Goldberg?
Would like to join me in co-presenting this. I ask that we adjourn in memory of David Wong, who is the sister-in-law of Dorothy Tamashiro, who's the president of the Los Angeles City Asian American City Employees Association. But also David is the husband, or was the husband, of Dory Wong, who was the former principal at Castelar Elementary School. He is survived, David is survived by Dory Hall Wong, by children Deborah Yang, Diane So, David Wong, and Dinah Wong, and their husbands and wives, and I think there are 3 grandchildren. The Wong family was certainly, continues to be, but David Wong and his family have certainly been very active in community affairs in my district, the school district, Mr. Hernandez's district, and he will be sorely missed.
Mr. Hernandez?
Members of the council, I think Councilmember Goldberg as well as Councilmember Altori want to join me on this adjourning motion. It's for Celia Banda. She is the mother of Margarita Martinez, who is the executive director of El Rescate. Well, she worked for El Rescate, but as well as the...
I'd like to join you on that.
And Margarita's my comadre, and her mom passed away yesterday, and they'll be having the services tomorrow. And I just ask that we adjourn today's meeting in their name.
I think we should adjourn in memory of Mr. Benson, who was a head of Claremont College for so many years. Call the roll. Aye, the council is adjourned.